Welcome on in. What is going on, everybody? So today we're going to do a quick video going over the financials tab or the financials section of TradingView. So this is something that I don't know if everybody is super familiar with, as TradingView is primarily a place people come for charts and the different indicators, etc. But there's actually a lot of details that you're going to get in the financials tab, and there's a lot of information here that just kind of at a glance can be useful to you, either to dive deeper into, to jot down as notes, or just to look at before you're kind of looking at a stock or a company, because there's some more information here. Of course, trading is not just technicals, the charts, there's more to that, okay? So right now we are looking at the home page pretty much of TradingView, okay? So if I come to the home page, it's gonna look like this, okay? You're gonna kind of see a big thing, got editor's picks down here, scroll down, videos, and different things you can look into, articles and whatnot, right? But if you want to go to the financials tab, you'll have to select a stock. And there's a couple ways to do this. It's not just, one way. There's many ways to skin the cat here. So for example, we have Tesla selected right here as one of our stocks, okay? If I select on Tesla, it's going to be the Tesla chart over the past year. If I want to see the bigger chart, get my candlesticks, all that stuff, well, I can change the chart to candles here, but maybe I want to see it on the full chart view. I'll click on the full chart view option that I just clicked on right there. Now I'll have my Tesla chart pulled up, and here is the 1 week chart that I've got on Tesla. Okay, so next step is the financials tab. First things first, I guess before that I should mention, or at least I recognize I should say this ahead of time, there will be a link down below this video in the video description box, one of the first links down there, for TradingView if you guys have not already signed up or checked it out, all that stuff. We use the premium version of TradingView. There's many different options for you. We've got, it's the most expensive one. You don't need to do that by any means. And we actually have videos and even recommend the cheaper options if you wanted to go the paid route, but you can use the free version for sure, okay? Please, we always recommend that at a start there, okay? Don't start paying for extra stuff if you don't need to, okay? Especially if you don't know what you're even looking at, right? Now we got the Tesla chart pulled up. I'm gonna go to the right-hand side where it says watch list and details, okay? Now I can adjust the size of this, so it'll just kind of mess around with my chart. If I wanna go half and half, I have my watch list here, but actually I'm gonna scroll up and I'm gonna bring this to the top, okay? Here's essentially the details section, okay? Now I guess I'll go like, I don't know, 2/3 details and then like the chart right here. So here's where things get kind of cool. I can add notes at the top of this page and whatever I want to do, but the financial stuff starts coming down underneath here, underneath this top. Got the days range, the 52-week range, the price, market close, if it's open, last trading day, the bid, the ask right here, kind of cool. But down below this, you've got your key stats section. Tells you the volume on Tesla, the average volume over the last 10 trading days, I believe. Market capitalization, dividend yield. Again, Tesla does not have one. Tesla doesn't have a dividend as of right now. It's more of a growth stock. Price to earnings ratio of 55.71. Basic EPS, earnings per share, 4.02. And then the shares float. How many shares are available to trade to the public? 2.701 billion. So at a glance, like boom, you got some good information right there. It might be helpful, right? EPS, price to earnings ratio, like some things like this to a fundamental investor or someone who wants to look at those numbers, like you've got that. It's like right in front of you. This stuff is, all available to you. Next, you'll see the earnings, and you can hover over the last couple of earnings on Tesla. So for example, I can go back to Q1 of 2022 from when I'm filming this video, and you'll see the actual EPS numbers, the surprise of the upside and whatnot, and then it kind of gives you a good look essentially as to how the company has been doing in terms of their earnings reports over the past couple of quarters. And so you can kind of see the trend. And if you go back to the charts, let's go to the 1 year, 1 day chart here. They'll have the earnings symbols in the green at the bottom, or they'll be in red if it was a miss, technically speaking, by estimations. And so you can kind of see how the stock reacted after those earnings reports, and you can kind of see and judge based off of what the projections were, how big of a beat was it. And obviously there's much more behind the earnings reports than just the top line. Did they beat? Did they miss? Like all that, but it's kind of cool to look at. Next thing, you got this income statement or this dividend section here. There's no dividends for Tesla, so there will nothing there, but other stocks will have information there. We can actually look at a different one here in a second and show you how that looks. Actually, let's go ahead and do that, right? Because it doesn't really matter. We can look at any stock here. So if I go to Apple, okay, now I come into the dividend section. So I'm kind of scrolling on down through, right? Here's the dividend section. We have a payout ratio of 15.46%. Here's that earnings kind of at the top. And then we have a dividend yield right here of 0.61. Last payment was 23 cents a share. And the last ex-dividend date was February 9th, 2023 for when we're filming this video. And you'll have updated information there depending upon what stock you're looking at and, when you're looking at things and all that stuff, okay? Now you'll get to the income statement here. And so we have this revenue, net revenue, and profit margin. So you can kind of see and visually kind of conceptualize here the trends that we're getting, right? And so you kind of have the scale in terms of looking at the revenue, right? So if you look at revenue and you say like, okay, revenue has actually come down over the past couple of quarters into 2022 and late 2022, then it's bounced back up nicely so far into 2023. You can look at net revenue, and then you can also look at that profit margin. Now that profit margin is also bumped up as well, okay? Now we go deeper. We can dive into the performance technicals, but there's actually a section here called more financials. If I click on that, check this out. People won't really realize this stuff is here for you, for the taking, essentially, on Apple. So now we're deeper into the financials tab here, and this is, again, stuff that maybe no one, or not no one, but maybe less people are familiar with, right? So I can change this to annual or quarterly, which actually can be kind of cool to see the trends of Apple over the years. Obviously, with the pandemic and stuff, that definitely maybe changed things or threw things off, but you can kind of see that over different stocks and different companies, right? So a lot of the same stuff we're looking at is here. You also are going to get this revenue. So they have the earnings right there, the EPS number, okay, they beat or they missed, but also there's more to that. Like when you come out with an earnings report, the top line numbers are like, oh, did they beat revenue and did they beat EPS or did they miss, right? So looking at the at a glance tab we just looked at before, we have the chart on the left and the financial on the right. You only got the earnings. Now you got the revenue down here. So that's kind of cool to look at as well. Each of these things, also a balance sheet right here, assets, liabilities, debt to assets. Pretty cool stuff to look at. And then the cash flow section right here, operating, investing, and financing. I mean, there's a lot of good information that you're going to get down here in these tabs. Now, there's also the statement section. Look at this, guys. I mean, this is pretty cool, okay? Income statement. You've got your balance sheet, and you've got your cash flow statements. Awesome. Again, you can go quarterly or annually, and this will take you back about, what is that, like, 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it is. Okay, statistics, more stuff here, price to earnings, price to cash flow ratios, price to book ratios. And you can, again, take this back over the years, and you can kind of see where Apple, in terms of its valuation, is currently trading at. So price to earnings ratio from 2016 to now, right, we've gone up a ton. It was a lot higher maybe back in 2020, but it's kind of come back down a little bit to currently at 25. But you can kind of see that Apple right now is trading a little more expensive than what it was, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And this can all factor into, do I want to buy it? Do I want to sell it? All these different things. Here's the dividend section, so you can get more information on the dividends, all the dividend payout histories, ex-dividend dates, all that great stuff. And then more details into the earnings over the past couple of quarters or years, and dive deeper than just that at-a-glance information that you're going to get that we were just looking at a few minutes ago. So back to that overview page, we can dive deeper into these categories and look into more stuff here, which is really cool. Again, you can click on all these things and it'll show you, you can literally overlay all the bars, as many things as you want to highlight here, and it'll pop on the top of your screen, which is so cool. If I go back to this overview section, I go to balance sheet. If I click on balance sheet, it'll essentially take me to that section of the statements page. That's what it's all about. So everything you need is pretty much right here. And I would highly encourage you to check this out if you are someone who does like to look at these different things, because you don't have to go over to like Yahoo Finance or Google. It's like, it's all right here. It's all right here on the financials tab of TradingView. And then if you go deeper, you get some technical ratings based off of, however they want to judge on the technicals. And then there's analyst ratings here. And then you have the profile of the company down at the bottom. Okay. And then you have their website. There's actually a link to their website. So if you're looking at companies or stocks that, you're not really too familiar with, and you're like, hey, what's their website? Again, pull up that details tab right here, click on the stock, it'll pop it open, scroll down on the right, and then click on their company website at the bottom. Boom. You know, it's right here and you have access to that. Super easy for research purposes and whatnot. There's more you can dive into from the technical side of things. I mean, there's a ton here. I guess this isn't necessarily the purpose or the point of this video specifically, but you can kind of see these are all the reasons or a lot of the reasoning why they bake this into back on this page, why they give you a sell signal, and then the analyst ratings, you can dive deeper into the forecast and you can kind of see where the lower end is, the higher end is, and how they bake that into, you know, the average forecast that they're going to give you based on 40 analysts giving their stock ratings on Apple over the past couple of months. So there you guys have it. That's the financials and more section of TradingView that I highly recommend you check out. And if you didn't know it's there, well, now you do. Thanks so much for watching. Again, there'll be a link to TradingView in the video description box and pinned comment down below of this video. Make sure you subscribe, thumbs up button, and we'll see you guys maybe in a future video. Have a great rest of your day.